Hi everyone. I am going to go over the week 2 curriculum with you so that you can get started on some of those assignments. As you can see, I'm still challenged when it comes to the background. As soon as my husband gets rid of all these paint cans that are over here, because he painted the kitchen, I can move the laundry and then you don't have to look at that. So I apologize for that. I'm trying to get some artwork up there too. Um, but I'm just horrified every time I look at these screencasts and I think, oh my gosh, I've got to do something about the background. So working on it. Hopefully by mid-semester something will happen there. Anyway, I just wanted to touch base with you about week 2 and kind of walk you through these first few weeks with screencasts. After a while, you'll get the gist of what we do for each unit, and so I may not record every week, but for now it's important. So we'll start out by checking out the weekly content, which is what you'll do every week. And if you click on week 2, you'll see that assignments are due a week from this Wednesday. The first thing we have are the learning outcomes. And next is your due date and a list of things that are due. It looks like a lot, but you can see you'll be responding to classmates on the discussion board. We'll close that discussion board on Wednesday, February 5th, if you're in the spring 2014 class. And of course, those dates will adjust if I use this video again. Then the next thing you'll do is you'll participate in discussion two's initial post. You'll do your first blog post, which is basically just pre-writing for your first paper, and there is a reading quiz. So let's take a look at your reading assignments. Okay, the reading assignment, first of all, you're going to read most of Chapter 7 on literacy narrative. There are different article or essays that are in the literacy narrative chapter. You're not going to read them all, which is why I put the page numbers on. And additionally, I added the last name of each essay that we're going to read. And you can see 3 of the essays we read are in Chapter 7. And then there's a chapter at the end of the book with additional essays, and you'll read this 4th essay. They're all pretty short and not too in-depth. They're narrative, so it's just like reading someone else's story. And then I want you to also read the assignment so that you understand what you're working towards as you read these. There are 2 videos based on the readings. One is from Sophia Gomez, and this is a really interesting video that kind of, it has some home videos from when she was a kid that she talks about in her essay. And then the Amber Wiltz video is basically you're going to read a written adaptation of her assignment, which was to produce a video, and this is the actual video. So they're both really interesting and kind of fun. You'll finish up the icebreaker, which you'll see there is a link from the weekly content module, but you can also use your short links to hit the icebreaker and forums so that you can, if I press control, I think, yeah, that opens up a new window. So you don't have to like scroll backwards, but you can see the discussion is well on its way, and you can finish posting from here. And then let's go back, scroll up. Next, we'll start our next discussion board, which is on literacy narrative. Now, the icebreaker came from this link, but the rest of the discussions for the semester will be done in small groups. They'll be specifically about the readings, and you can access them through the shortcut right here, the peer review and discussions shortcut. So if we click here and open the window. Again, I pressed Control to get a new tab opening so that I can just easily click back. You'll see you're divided into 2 groups, and I will, now that the class has started this week, I'll double check to make sure everyone's in a group. But you might also want to go in and see which one of these shows up for you to make sure that I haven't missed anybody. I think our roster at this point is very solid. You can see all the people that are in your group. And then you just click on group discussion board, and it takes you to all the boards for your group. So you can see this first one, it talks about how in Chapter 7 there are 3 key features of literacy narrative that are discussed, and that's telling a well-told story, having vivid details, and giving the reader some idea of the significance of the narratives. So you're going to write a 150-word response that identifies how your assigned essay exhibits these features. This week, probably today or tomorrow, I will go ahead and post an announcement that assigns you to an essay that you'll lead off on in the discussion board. And of course, you'll give specific examples from the essay to support your claims. And please make sure that you're identifying page numbers from where your examples come from. Now, I do this for just the first discussion, just to give you an idea of how to get going. But there is a little PDF file here that gives you a sample discussion. This is me writing, so I got slightly wordy. I said 150 words. This is a little bit longer than what I would expect you to do. Uh-oh, the kids are back. Let me close the door. Hi guys, I'm recording. Okay. They just got home, so get a little privacy now. Okay, so anyway, I also have comments that give you tips on things that you should include, like introducing the title and the author. And these are all habits that you want to get into for writing regular papers. So I figured I might as well start instructing you on how to introduce sources and format your discussion posts. Now remember that your classmates are going to be reading this. So while I want you to have vivid details, you don't need to go overboard. Bullet points are really helpful. Remember that smaller paragraphs are easier to read online than larger paragraphs. If you have a paragraph that's too long, I know as a reader, I tend to get overwhelmed with a really long paragraph. So once you start getting to, 3 or 4 lines, you might want to think about just putting in a return to help with readability. Bullet points are helpful as well. And I have it this way so that you can also kind of skim and kind of see if there's something in this post that grabs your attention. Signal phrases are in the present tense, so I'll say something like, Tan writes about people's perspectives of her mother based on her mother's dialect. So you're writing in present tense. I'm not going to mark you off if you don't, but I'm trying to teach you some of those key MLA features for future writing. And also refer directly to the text with your examples and put those in quotes. So that is just a nice little sample to help you get going with the discussions. I lost the board. Oh, I gotta go back. Piano lesson is starting. Alex said he was going to practice his cello first, so I think there's going to be a little fight in the background just to... Do you hear her screaming? That's nice, huh? So anyway, go ahead and click on discussion. You'll create your thread. You'll put the name of the author of the essay you're going to talk about in the subject heading so your classmates know what you're talking about. And you'll post your response. Now you can write your response right here. I would suggest, especially for your initial post, I would suggest that you write in a Word document or use the notepad like here for the text, just in case. Sometimes this text in these message boxes disappears and you don't want all your hard work to disappear and then be annoyed. Sometimes what I'll do too, although I forget if I do it, you might copy it, just copy things once in a while, just so at least if you lose something, you can paste your progress right there. So that's the discussion. Next is the blog entry on early literacy. So again, you can, I'm hitting control right here to open up the blog. You can also access it from the shortcuts. And basically, this is a prompt that is tied to the paper assignment. And so I'm asking you to just post a paragraph or two about some potential literacy narrative topics that you might engage in. Again, you don't have to write a ton. Remember, you're writing for your classmates who have a lot to read, and so you wanna have it be brief and concise, but you want to make sure that there's a nice balance of details to get your ideas across. So now, unlike the discussion boards where we're broken down into two groups, for the blogs, you have access to everybody. But it's kind of hard to show right now. I guess if I showed empty blogs, pretend everybody did their blog assignments already. You can just click on the side. Now you might stick with people that you're already fostering relationships with in the discussion boards. You might kind of skim through and see which posts grab your attention. But whatever the case, you'll just hit create blog entry, and you'll put your ideas in, and then your classmates can go in and the following week comment on your ideas. And what's beneficial about the blogs is not only do you have a chance to exchange ideas about what you're writing about, it helps you see if you're on the right track. You might be at a loss of ideas, and so you might want to see what other people are doing just to see if you can generate better ideas. She just got a haircut. Isn't she cute? I don't know if she's showing up. Hi, sweetie. I'm recording for my class, so can you hold on one more minute? I'm almost done. Okay, so the last thing is the literacy narrative quiz, and these are 10-question quizzes, typically multiple choice. There's a true or false in there somewhere in one of these quizzes. You have 30 minutes to complete them, and once you enter the quiz, you must complete it, and once you submit an answer, you can't backtrack. There's a 24-hour grace period, so the quizzes are due on Wednesdays, but they don't disappear until the end of the day on Thursday, just in case. And your lowest quiz grade is dropped, so there's 4 quizzes, and the lowest one is dropped. And what else can I tell you about the quizzes? They're not particularly tricky, I don't think. I'll have to look and see if there are any questions that are obviously, if everybody gets one question wrong, it might not be a good question. So we'll monitor that, and of course there will be, I'll deal with those issues if they arise. So anyway, that's what week 1 looks like. Again, if we go back to well, I don't have the announcement posted yet, but I will have a similar announcement posted with a lot of what we just talked about in writing. And I hope you guys have a great week. Email me if you have questions, and I will see you online.